Hello, welcome to another episode in this video series where we are using Inkscape to design geoscientific figures for our research paper. So here in this video, I'm going to make use of a remote sensing image. That's a result of a remote sensing image that was prepared using a remote sensing software, and the legend was not properly produced. So we need to make use of Inkscape to enhance the visual display of the legend or key. So let me quickly show you what I'm talking about. Let me start Inkscape first. Then I will navigate to the research paper to show you what I'm talking about exactly. So we are still using the same research paper, and here the figure I'm going to work on is this one. Let's see. Yeah, this figure 7. So if you look at this figure 7, this is a result of a remotely sensed image analysis. If I click on it to open it up, you can see that it has a legend or a key, but the keys are not well spaced out for whatever reason. If I enlarge, open it in a new tab to make it bigger, you see that these are the legends or the keys that define the classification on these images. So, but unfortunately, the legends are too close, while the classification itself has some spaces, a lot of spaces that these keys or legend can be spread from this top to this place, and then it will improve the legibility and the clarity of the legend or the keys. So in this video, we are going to work on that. So in case if you have a similar issue, maybe your paper, you are finding it difficult to submit a paper where your peer reviewer asks you to improve the legend or spread out the legend, and you're finding it difficult to do because the remote sensing software you are using doesn't allow you to increase the space between the keys or the legend, and you need to make use of a software like Inkscape to improve it. So here it is. If you look at this, is a more enlarged version. You can see these are too close to each other. So I'm going to use Inkscape to spread them out and then improve the readability of this key. So if I go back to the image, let me see if the author actually stated the name of the software used to produce this. So unfortunately, unlike the other figures, in this figure, the author did not state the exact name of the software used in making this. So let's go back to Inkscape and see how we can get this done. So this is a brand new window for Inkscape. So I'm going to copy the image and paste it here. So let me copy it from the PDF file. So I'll just copy one of them, and whatever we do to one is applicable to others. So I'll select one, right click and copy. Then I will take it to Inkscape and paste. Ctrl V to paste. So first thing first is to determine the size where we intend to, the target size where we intend to put the image, the final image, the final figure. So let's do that quickly. So if you go to the manuscript template. So here in the manuscript template, I'm going to have the image, let's say somewhere in this space. So I need to copy this image to know the size. I know the size already, but let me just show you from scratch in case if you're watching this video for the first time. So, but since I've worked with it before, I already know the size. So if you copy it and paste it in Inkscape, you can see the size from the top here. So the width is 60. The height of this image is 60. After selecting it, you will see the width and the height. So 60.060. So you can delete it, and you now know that this image, you have to resize it to fit that size. So let's resize the image so that we'll be sure that the final image would fit into our manuscript exactly where we wanted it. So let's do that. So select the image, and then I know that my width and my height are going to be 60. So 60 and then 60 for the height. So this is the target size. Then the next step is to design and arrange the figure. So in this case, what we are going to do is to spread out this legend. And to do that, we are going to do away with this very one and then put the new one. So, but before I do that, let me first of all design the legend outside. Then I will now find a way to cover this part and superimpose the new legend on the old one, or I can clip it out later on. So let's continue. So first thing first is to get the text. So I'm going to get the text out. So here we have, if I pick my text tool, I can type in, I can type out all the values here. We have about 16 classifications for the keys. So the first one is open parenthesis, close parenthesis 1, then 0.1%. Let me quickly change the color, select it, and then click on the black color. So let me position it properly, and the size is too large. I'm going to select everything and then set it to a smaller size. Let's say 12. I think 12 will be too large too. Let me take it to something like 9. Yeah, I think 9 is okay. No, 9 will be too large. Let me say 8. So I think 8 will be okay. So remember, our target is to improve the readability of this. So what am I doing again? I think if I decide to put 9 here, at 9 here, 9 is too large. Let me take it down to, let's say 6. Let's see what we have with 6. Move it closer here. Yeah, I think 6 is a little bit okay. Yeah, I think we can manage, we can work with 6. Then that means we are going to, if I put it here, then what about the box? The box that shows the color of the class? No. So 6 is a little bit too large. Let me take it to 4. Yes, so 4 fits in. But I don't like the font, it's too small. I will increase it to 5 and make it bolder. And make it bold. So let's see what we have. So I think this is okay. So I'll take it aside. Then I will produce this square, this fill square. So I'll pick my rectangle tool, then draw the square. After drawing the square, I will resize it the way I want it. Take it closer. Then for the fill color, I will go to the fill and stroke menu. And then under the fill, I'll use this button, pick color from image. So click on this button, pick color from image, and then click on this specific color. And it will fill the new rectangle with the exact color of the class. So for the stroke, we don't need the stroke. So remove the stroke. There's no need for the stroke. But if for some reason you need the stroke, you can always enable it. And then set the stroke size to something manageable. But in this case, I'm going to remove the stroke. I don't need the stroke. So let's move the 2. Let's see how it fits in. So I think it's a little bit overlapping the map itself. So let's reduce the size. So hold down Control and Shift and then shrink the size a little bit. Let's zoom closer. Shift Control and then reduce the size. So take it closer. Then select everything and then zoom. Then move it into the space. So this is what we have, which I think is okay. So I think this size is okay for what we want to achieve. So what is left now is to replicate everything for the remaining 15 classes. So I'll simply duplicate, Ctrl D, and then move. Ctrl D, and then move. Remember, our target is to give more spaces in between the legend. We want to space them out. So I will replicate and then move. If I want to, I can measure the distance between set a uniform distance between the keys. But in this case, I will just make use of my eyeball to eyeball it and spread everything from the beginning of the image down to the bottom of the image. So let me quickly do that. So hopefully we did not make any mistake, but you can always go back to edit if there's any mistake. So what is left now is to match the color to the corresponding color for the keys. So select from number 2, then go to the fill and stroke menu, and then use the pick color from image button to set the color appropriately. Select key 3, then pick the color from key number 3. Select 4, pick the color from number 4. So I'll continue, I'll do that for all the remaining keys. Number 5, 6, select all. I can even group it to make it easier for me to move. So select everything and then Ctrl G, or you right click and then group, or you go to object and then select group. Shift it there. I will now see that my image or my keys are placed just like that. I can adjust it to fit how I want it. So let me take it aside. So what is left now is for me, I can remove this. So let me remove this. I can actually select the image and then use a clip, set clip with a triangle, with a rectangle, but I don't think it's necessary. And what I will do is I will just cover it with a white background. So I'll draw a rectangle with white background to cover it up. And for this 90, I'm also going to change this label 2019. I will change it. So before I do that, let me quickly change that label. So I'll duplicate this, move it somewhere here, and then I will change the text to 2019. So this time I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, maybe 10. Yeah, and I can move it to the middle. So let me cover this with a white background. So I'm going to use a rectangle, then draw my rectangle to cover just this white, this old legend, something like this. I can remove the fill, remove the stroke, then set the fill to white, just like that. And can move it to make sure that it covers everything. Then I can now, let me first of all position the text 2019, move it up the layer. Then I can now move this, select everything, then move it here, move everything up the image. So zoom to see what we have done so far. So you can adjust it using the move arrow. So if you notice here, I did not bother about the layer because it is not I'm not doing a very big design or image editing. So I know that there are going to be few objects or component of this image, so I did not bother about having the layer arrangement. So with this selected, I can move it somewhere here. Okay, undo. You can move it as you want. So I think let's say we are satisfied with what we have here. Let me take it down a little. So let's say we are satisfied with the new output. So to export it, you will just select the background image and then go to the export tab. If you can't find the export, you can get it under file, export, or you press shift Control E. So from the export tab, after selecting, make sure you're under the select tab. Then remember that the expected dot per inch for this journal is 600. So type 600 there, and then you can now export it to your preferred location. So usually this should be your working folder, your project folder. So mine is on the desktop, and then I'll put it under images and then I'll save it as a PNG file. So I'll call it figure, let me call it figure 2, just as an example, or figure 2 2019, and then save. So you can always go back to your working folder, pick the image, and then take it to your manuscript. So let's quickly do that. Then paste. So you can see the difference. The legend is of course better than what we have on the original. And that is how you improve the readability of your legend in case if the software you use does not have the ability to expand or space out the legend. So you can finish your design or finish your map production in whatever GIS or remote sensing software you are working on, and then bring it back to Inkscape and then enhance or improve the legibility of the legend, just like this. So you can see this is more legible than what we have on the original submission. So I hope this was helpful and you enjoy watching the video. So see you in the next one. Bye bye.